to a movie and it's so bad you want to walk out on.
I've done that before.
But you're so invested in it, like you spent money, you got all dressed up, and you went. So you just got to stay to
and
the
suffer
end.
through it. Yeah.
It's Carolina Panthers season.
Welcome to the 2023 Carolina Panthers season.
It's finally over.
It's finally, thank God.
Finally over.
Congratulations, man, for surviving another.
Yeah, we did it.
Hey, congratulations to y'all for surviving another Carolina Panthers season. We did it again. 7th straight season of failure.
Amazing.
Oh man.
Yeah, today was not any different than any other game. Every drop back, Bryce Young,
somebody in his face.
Yep.
Sacked. Receivers letting them down.
Boy, DJ Chark. Wow. Talk about
DJ Chark has pretty much left 14 points on the board the last 2 weeks.
I'm not saying I'm gonna throw a name out here. I'm gonna say Larry Fitzgerald. Now, Larry Fitzgerald is a Hall of Famer.
Right.
One of the greatest receivers of all time. And I'm not saying that DJ Chark needs to be
is anywhere in the vicinity of Larry Fitzgerald.
But Larry Fitzgerald has maybe the dumbest stat in professional football. You know the one I'm talking about?
No.
Larry Fitzgerald has more tackles than he does drop passes.
Oh, wow.
That's the dumbest.
I've heard that.
Yes.
I've heard that.
Right?
Yes.
Larry Fitzgerald, would he have fumbled that ball out of bounds today?
No, man.
Okay, let's take Larry Fitzgerald off the table because he's an all-time great. Would Adam Thielen have fumbled that ball? No. Would
Jericho Cotchery?
Baby Ted
Ginn even dropped the damn ball? Not that. Ted Ginn would have dropped it because he would have been busy running by the guy. So
exactly. Oh man, and that hurt because Bryce made a good play and a good throw on a busted play. But that play summed up. I wasn't even really that mad at the play because that just summed up the year for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah. Pretty much.
That play was like, yep.
In a nutshell, there you go.
That's us.
There you go.
Right? Yep.
Carolina Panthers football, buddy. Let's find a way to shoot ourselves in the foot when we have some success.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't even want to talk about the game because it's not like every other week. It's just not worth talking about.
It's the same thing every single week, and we lose. The Panthers are the epitome of a bad team, and here's what I mean by that. What do bad teams do, Kaza? You know what bad teams do? They find ways to not only lose, but they find ways to beat themselves.
Correct. Yep. They And here's the thing. I mean, the defense played well.
I thought the defense played very well today.
The whole Tampa only to 9 points. Although, to be fair, neither team really looked like they were like in it. Like
it was an ugly game. It was not the most well played game today.
Tampa was just kind of like, even though Tampa needed to win this game to win the division, but even they were just kind of like, and the Panthers, and the Panthers were just kind of like, dog, it's just.
Is this over yet? Is this over yet? Yeah.
I mean, we had our chances. First of all, y'all hated Eddie Pinheiro. He wasn't there today.
I don't know whoever it is.
Mac,
whoever this guy was, who just you can't miss a field goal any worse than that dude did.
That's a 52-yard. That's tough. But I feel like
shout out to our new under construction fan on Instagram. Hey Fee, how you doing? All right.
I feel like any NFL kicker should be able to make Matt Wright should be able to make that kick and not miss it that badly. But it
is what it is, man.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this game. Bryce Young looked like a guy who was running from it for his life most of the game. He didn't even have 100 yards passing, so all the haters rejoice.
Right. God, you know what's coming, right? Because
the Texans made the playoffs.
Yeah. Look, let's get this out the way. I want to hurry up and get this out the way, man. I watched that Texans game last night. CJ Stroud, he did look good, but you know why he looked good? Because he was comfortable all game. There was clean pockets. Most of the time, we threw the ball. He had one play where somebody was just facing. He made it great though. Props to him. But for the most part, he was comfortable.
Yeah.
His running game worked. There was no confusion amongst the wide receivers. The play calling was really good. There was a play call where CJ Stroud to a wide open fullback in the end zone. Wide. Nobody near the guy. We don't know how that feels, right?
That's crazy.
We don't know how that looks.
Yeah.
I was jealous when I was watching. It's like, man, I wish Bryce had these same luxuries. Must be nice.
Yeah. No. CJ Stroud is the best quarterback to ever be drafted, ever. And we missed out.
We just missed out. We just suck. Everybody sucks. Get
open because he's so that's.
Oh yeah, I was told that CJ Stroud elevated the dudes around. I was told that. I was told that. Yeah.
The guy got open because CJ Stroud was ball.
Yep. I was told that, man. So
whatever.
That's where I'm at.
Bright spot.
Derrick Brown is a beast. Derrick Brown is a monster.
He set an NFL record.
100 tackles?
Most tackles for a defensive tackle.
What he in? I think 101 maybe.
Yeah,
for the season.
Oh, by the way, he won picked for the Pro Bowl. You set an NFL record, but you play for the Panthers. They're like,
can't use it. Sorry. Like anybody watches the damn Pro Bowl anyway, but whatever.
Yeah, but at least to get that acknowledgement, which is weird because we were hard on Derrick Brown last season.
Yeah, right.
The season before, we felt like, man,
but he answered the bell.
Boy, he looked good this season.
He answered the bell, man.
Almost too good. I'm afraid that he won't want to stick around. Now, he's not a free agent this next season.
Right.
But why would you want to play for the Panthers if you're that good? You know how many teams are going to be like, hey, I'd like the defensive tackle with the most tackles ever.
Right.
Ever. Like, we have linebackers that don't even have 100 tackles.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. What if Buffalo came calling like the year after, like, hey, Derek, you look good in the Buffalo Bills.
I'd go to Buffalo.
What about, let me, okay. Moving on.
Or San Francisco. Oh, you play for the Panthers? Yeah, come on.
Why am I afraid to San Francisco like the pipeline for success?
Yeah. Or it's funny. Our brother Vince posted a post. This was last week. Baker Mayfield, career highs in passing yards, touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey.
I wonder what could be the difference.
Yeah. Christian McCaffrey, career highs in rushing yardage and receiving yardage and touchdowns. DJ Moore, career highs in receiving yards, receiving touchdowns. They were all on our roster at some point together last season.
I wonder what could be the difference, Kaiser.
It's just absurd. Like to see these guys just leave and then go ball out. And what do we got? We got Miles Sanders.
You got Miles Sanders. Who, you know what, man. How does it feel to have your starting position taken by Chuba Hubbard? How does that feel? After you were the big free agent signing. You understand what I'm saying?
I mean, I wasn't mad at the Miles Sanders signing, but I remember us saying, what about Chuba? Chuba Hubbard played pretty good last season.
Right.
And,
right.
Okay, so Deontay Foreman left.
Right. Which is still a head scratcher to me.
Yeah,
but
puzzling.
But everything this franchise has done in the last 3 years has been really puzzling. So why are we surprised?
They got Adam Thielen and DJ Chark. I think they overestimated DJ Chark's ability. Maybe they felt like he just needed an opportunity.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, not to mention the Lions had Ben Johnson as their quarterback. I mean, as their offensive coordinator. Their offensive line is 1,000 times better than ours. So their offense was a lot more functional than ours. Kaiser, we got to keep in mind, as absolutely awful as this offense was this year, we can't forget this offense has been dysfunctional for the last 6 years.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
My thing is, okay, so in the offseason, you're looking at this team and you're saying, where are the deficiencies?
Offensive line, obviously.
Yeah, how do you miss that? You went and got a running back, even though you had a capable one. Okay, you needed new wide receivers because you got rid of Moore. So you went and got Thielen and Chark.
I can't believe.
How come no one said, man, we need a new
line? Well, I cannot believe I'm about to do this. I'm actually going to defend the Panthers on that. I can't believe I'm about to, but I am because I just got to be sensible. There's no way in hell they could have saw the regression of Icky. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody. Nobody saw that coming, right? Nope. We could not have foreseen Brady Christensen's injury. Couldn't see that, right? We were counting on Austin Corbett to play more, right? So, I mean, we're talking about three starters already.
You're right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I think there's a lot of things that they just couldn't foresee, man. You know what I'm saying?
Regardless, this is a nightmare season.
It couldn't go any worse.
Mainly because we don't have what would have been the number one pick in the draft because we traded it away to get the number one pick last season.
Right.
And that didn't pan out for a lot of different reasons. And really none of them have to do with Bryce Young.
Right.
So what this means is that the Panthers are probably going to suck again next season pretty bad. They're going to make some slight improvements, but maybe, you got to fix that O-line, and who knows who's going to be left on the offense, and if you're a defensive player for the Panthers, do you really want to stick around for this?
Right.
Because they're a solid defense. They're actually one of the best defenses in the league, which is absurd to think, but it's true statistically anyway.
And not to be repetitive, man, but today's such a microcosm of how the season went, man. Like, dude, how do you hold a team to 9 points and lose, dude?
Yeah,
that's insane. Come on, man, and that's been happening all season.
Yeah.
How many single digit games have we lost? When I say single digits, I mean hold the opposing team to single digits and lose a game. That's crazy. That's insane, man.
Panthers are, if I remember correctly, I don't know if it was the only team. I think it said only one of two teams that never at any point in the season led in the fourth quarter in any game.
Oh, by the way, not one opening drive touchdown this whole season either. Can't make this up, man. The most frustrating part, man, and Kaza, me and you know this. We discussed this a bunch of times about how things look good on paper. Because on paper, we looked at everything. It was like, man, like improvement on paper. On paper doesn't win you football games.
It does not.
And I struggle to find where the breakdown happened with the offense. You know, like right. You understand what I'm saying? Icky's regression is unexplainable. I understand Brady Christensen did go down. I understand Austin Corbett didn't play as much, but I still, to be honest, could not have foreseen it going this badly. If we're being honest.
For some reason, the comments on Restream aren't working, so I can't see them. So I'm looking on Facebook, by the way. Drell says, who we getting in the second round? I don't know.
I haven't even looked, Drell. Honestly.
But the question is, what position do we look at? Do we draft for need, or do we just be?
No. As bad as the offensive line is, you can't reach because the Panthers have been on the hamster wheel of trying to draft offensive line guys for a long time. Right. And that's never worked. I mean, that's hardly worked out. You understand? So just go for BPA, man. And maybe if there's somebody out there in the free agent market, you try to go sign one or two guys, maybe, if that's even possible.
Yeah, it's just hard to know where the Panthers
look for that.
Exactly, because everything is such a mess.
Right.
Right. So,
and forgive us as we're trying to refresh the comments on the stream, y'all.
I really want to be able to see these comments.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's everything is just such a mess. There's so many holes that they have to try and fix. It's hard. I tell you what, Scott Fitterer is not going to be around by this time tomorrow.
Yeah, he won't be here.
He will not have.
It's Black Monday tomorrow. Yeah.
So whoever they pick to replace him has the worst job in professional sports right now.
I agree.
Because man, where do you start?
In professional sports, that's strong, but I don't know I don't know if I disagree though.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
I'm sitting here thinking like, well, probably is.
First of all, you gotta hire a coach.
Well, there's one worse professional job in sports, and that's the Oakland Athletics. But I digress. But go ahead.
Well, no, because at least you get to live in Las Vegas.
True.
You know.
Yeah.
You take the Panthers. You here? You stuck on I-85 south on the way to work. So, yeah, I just don't know where the GM would start. Even as a fan, a lot of times it's easier to say, well, man,
right. Because how many fans are armchair GMs anyway,
Right,
man? But
yeah.
it's like, but
Even
now
as
it's
an
like,
armchair GM, I'm like,
I don't know where to start.
But I mean, clearly you got to fix the O line, and you have to help Bryce. I think you start there.
You
right?
start there. You start there.
You let the chips fall where they may on the defense.
I think the easiest thing to pinpoint, you know, the offensive line, obviously, but on top of the offensive line, man, I still think there's not a receiver on this team that the other defenses are scared of.
No.
That they have to game plan around.
They did game plan around Adam Thielen, but only because
he was productive.
Yeah, they knew, well, this is the only dude Bryce
can are throwing to, right?
And
right.
So if we take him out of the game, we win.
Right.
Which, and a lot of times that was the case because nobody else. Oh, can we get this man a tight end? Can we make a decision?
Well, we tried. We tried.
Well,
we got Hayden Hurst. We tried to.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's 7 damn tight ends on the roster, and Ian Thomas. Speaking of,
if Ian Thomas is on the team next year,
I would fire the GM next year if Ian Thomas is on.
If Ian Thomas on the team next year, I'm going to try it. There's no way this man can be on the team next season.
There was a play today, I forgot which quarter it was, man, where, you know, Bryce threw Ian Thomas the ball, and the ball wasn't perfect, but it definitely was catchable if there was an effort made to catch the ball by Mr. Ian Thomas. I really wanted to jump through the TV and choke this dude because it was like, why are you still here?
Yeah, I just don't.
Hey, let me look in the camera. Hey, there are people out there that know football more than I do. Kevin, if you're watching, whoever knows football, explain to me why Ian Thomas is still on this roster.
Through
please.
Three different coaching staffs. 4 technically.
He must be a great locker room guy. Because I can't, man.
You gotta be the greatest locker room guy ever.
That dude got some pictures of Fitterer or something, man.
He got some
dirt on somebody, man. Tepper or somebody.
Ridiculous. Oh boy.
Where do you start? Where do you go with this?
I don't even know. Let's talk about Tepper real quick. Let's talk about this. Let's get this out of the way, and I guess we can come back and talk about the sorry ass team. But
got the comments up.
Oh, hold up. Let's address this comment. This is interesting. Part of me blames Thielen for cursing us after he won a Pat McAfee show last offseason and said we could go to the Super Bowl. Whenever
that has never worked out.
Whenever someone makes a comment, I just think of Vince Young. I call that the Vince Young syndrome.
Who was that took the damn ad out in the Charlotte Observer? Who was that for the Panthers? So remember, it was. I
thought it was an O lineman.
It was an O lineman, but I can't. What was it? Khalil?
I want to say it was Matt Khalil
or Ryan Khalil. It was it was Ryan Khalil that took the damn full page ad. Panthers, I know you've been suffering. Shut up. We didn't go. It never works out.
Yeah, don't make comments. Dream team coaching staff. When I heard that comment, also coaching staff, I thought, season's over. That's the end of that. Whenever you hear a comment like that, yes, I agree. That part of that could be Thielen's fault.
But what were you saying?
Last week, while we were live streaming, breaking news came. The infamous video that everyone's seen of David Tepper throwing his drink. Scott Fitterer looking like he. Like I ain't seen nothing.
David Tepper throwing his vodka on the fan.
The punishment came down. The
punishment came down.
And our owner, David Tepper, was fined $300,000.
Oh my God!
That's less than 1% of his total
net worth. Yeah,
and that's it. No suspension, not just $300K. Which to be fair, that's in a vacuum. That's probably a fair punishment.
Mm-hmm.
All you did was throw a drink on a guy.
Mm-hmm.
$300,000. Okay,
guy wasn't hurt. Guy didn't sue. Nothing.
But
heat of the moment.
This ain't in a vacuum. You are owner of an NFL team.
Right.
And
fair or unfair, you are expected to have a certain code of conduct.
Absolutely.
Right.
I feel like, $300,000 is not enough It's certainly from a punitive standpoint, it's not enough.
But
from a financial standpoint, it's not enough. But that was.
But we know why. If Roger Goodell is not going to do anything else, what is he going to do? He is going to act.
Gonna look out for.
He's going to look out for his boys, being in those owners.
In the NFL, you think they're going to suspend him?
Absolutely not, man.
Yeah,
absolutely not. Roger Goodell is always going to protect the owners in the NFL.
What do they do about the fan?
If anything, give
him a T-shirt.
Right.
By the way, Jaguars missed the playoffs.
Right.
So now you say you got a T-shirt because the owner of the Panthers
your team choked.
Your team missed the playoffs. So
what a choke job, by the way. But
hey, Trevor Lawrence was injured partly.
Still good.
So, it's pretty
bad.
Yeah. We're gonna do a special show, and in fact, we ought to do a documentary about the curse of Charlotte sports.
Right.
We were talking about this going all the way back to like 1989.
Yeah, seriously.
You got the Ray Caruth murders.
Fred Lane
being murdered. You got
David Wesley.
David Wesley, Bobby Phil's situation. You got George Shinn literally raping people, then moving the team because they didn't want to build the rapist a new coliseum.
Right.
And then you got the Jerry Richardson
saga.
Yes, scandal.
Right.
Now you got
scandal is a better word.
Yeah. Now you got the David Tepper era.
Michael Jordan, unfortunately.
You throw that in there.
You can throw it in there.
Michael Jordan he didn't have as much salacious.
Right.
He just wasn't a good owner.
Right.
Right. So, but it's like, man, like we just can't
win, man. Can't win. I got a simple question for those of y'all watching. Kaiser, I got a question for you. What Chris? Let me see. Let's see.
LJ's back. The crow started with
LJ's back.
Yep, I forgot about that. Yeah, that and the whole Alonzo Mourning situation.
Anthony Mason fighting William Floyd at Champs. Oh man, let me ask this question, man.
Kobe Bryant. Charlotte
shit.
Go ahead.
What is going wrong in the last 7 years? We are 7 years of not going to the playoffs, man.
I saw an article yesterday that said that David Tepper will be hiring a consultant firm.
Yeah, to help. I'm glad you brought that up.
That is what has been wrong. You don't hire a consulting firm to hire a head coach. You hire a competent NFL knowledgeable
general manager to handle that.
Let him hire a coach and build your roster like every other team in the NFL. A consulting firm. That's businessman mentality.
It's a business.
Yeah, I know the NFL is a business, but you don't run an NFL
it's a business mindset
like a business and expect it to be successful to deliver a successful product.
Now
you might make money, but
now on the flip side of that, to be fair, I guess the guy that they hired has worked with NFL teams before. Whether that has been successful or not, I didn't dig that deep into it, believe it or not. I mean, but here's the thing, man. It just goes back to that billionaire business mindset,
right?
Which on paper sounds okay, but guess what? This is a football team.
Right.
We need a football guy mindset. Not a Wells Fargo Bank of America mindset. Yeah. We need a football guy mindset.
Why not look. Just go to Harbaugh.
You know who I was just about to say.
Go to Harbaugh's house.
It does not.
With a suitcase or a Brinks truck full of cash.
Knock on the door.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this all you right here, bro. See that truck?
Yep.
It's all yours.
Just you know what to do.
You don't need a consultant to figure that out.
Right, yeah.
You don't need to hire anybody to figure that out.
Hire me. You ain't got to pay me much. You ain't got to pay me really anything.
It doesn't take a consultant to know who the hot names are. At least that. At least. Yeah. You know who Ben Johnson is. A consultant didn't have to tell you that.
Ben
you
Johnson,
know who
Eric Bieniemy, Bill Belichick,
Jim Harbaugh. Yeah.
Then your guys.
There's nothing else to talk about.
And then maybe you look at Ejiro Evero for building a good defense.
Absolutely.
Maybe you say maybe our answers here.
Right. And fans, don't even mention Steve Wilkes because he will hang up the phone. So, like, he probably won't even pick up the phone. You can see the numbers, don't even mention Wilkes.
Steve Wilkes would be too busy celebrating his Super Bowl win. Christian McCaffrey, for one. He'd just be busy.
Steve Wilkes will hang up the phone on Dave Tepper, so don't even try it.
So Willie says it sounds to him like Fitter ain't getting fired. Do you think, boy, I
highly doubt it. I doubt it.
If Scott Fitter has a job tomorrow, there's some kind of
another organizational failure, basically.
Some kind of Illuminati. Where Cat Williams at? He might know what's going on here.
That's what we need to call.
Yeah,
because he's the smartest dude I've ever heard of. So
3,000
books. So maybe he can run a football team.
That's 8 books a day.
That's 8 books a day. I'm sure you know something about football.
I mean, he said he could run a sub 4.4 right now.
He's athletic.
Yeah.
He reads.
Yeah, he's faster than Dion. Why haven't we hired Cat Williams? It's crazy.
We are off the rails here at the construction.
I mean, there's nothing else that can make this season just. I'm relieved the season's over, but at the same time,
I'm not looking forward. I'm not excited about the next season either.
It can't get any better. It's just not going to get any better. David Tepper, unless he has like an Ebenezer Scrooge moment or something.
Listen, I guess if there's any hope out there, there was something. I don't know the exact quote, man, but it sounded like Tepper was doing some self-reflecting, basically saying like, "Hey, I have to look in the mirror. I know how it went. Blah 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 blah." And I said this last week, man. David Tepper is not somebody who does not want to be successful. Got to be fair. He's a dude that does want to win. There's no question about that piece of it. What you do question is the mindset. You know what I'm saying? And you do question whether it's big egomaniac billionaire who still wants to be a football guy who's not a football guy.
And I don't think it's too early to say bad owner. It's been 6 years.
It's been 6 years, man.
And the Panthers have not been.
There's no improvement anywhere. Yeah. None.
There was.
At least during the Michael Jordan era, you saw some marginal improvement, but it was something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, heading into January, NFL and NBA teams have a combined.
God,
or we'll get to them in a minute.
Well, yeah, just wait, just hold tight.
We'll get to them.
Yep,
but, yep. With the Panthers, it's like, man, there's not anything to look forward to, mainly because of the logistics of the situation. We don't have a draft pick,
right?
We don't have a coach. We're probably not gonna have a GM. We are rebuilding again. It feels like now I know how like the Browns felt. Oh, remember just every year the Browns would have like the number 1 pick and a new coach.
Right.
And it wouldn't work out.
Right.
It seems like just yesterday they had Chudzinski and Johnny whatever the fuck his name is. Johnny Manziel.
Right.
Right. And it took them Joe Flacco to get to the damn playoffs,
right?
Like 38-year-old Joe Flacco,
right?
So, I guess that's just gonna be us.
It's gonna have to be some stroke of luck to get us in the damn playoffs to get it together, man.
And this was as weak as the NFC South is ever going to be.
It was a golden opportunity to win this division.
Yep. And I mean, it only took 9 wins to win the NFC South.
Look, man, I joined somebody's Twitter space early today, man, and they were asking like, hey, the question I want to ask is, do you feel hopeful? And my answer to that was, there's been 7 straight years of organizational failure. What hope? What do you see that gives you any hope for the next 2-3 years?
Yeah,
and I know that sounds like overly negative, emotional fan, but that's a real question.
Yeah, I just don't. It's going to take a massive. The Panthers are going to have to surprise everyone.
Mm-hmm.
There's not going to be any move that they make that we think, okay, all right, now it's going to.
There's one move that if they could make, that would make me be like, okay, we're really talking about something now. Jim Harbaugh. I'm sorry, I'm going to keep saying it.
But even then, you hire Harbaugh. It's not going to be like a 1 season,
which I'm fine with. But if we're realistic, wouldn't you take 6 wins next season? And then, but
I take 5.
But most importantly, you can see some marked improvement somewhere. Absolutely. You understand what I'm saying? Wouldn't you take that right now?
Though, if the talent, so the last last time Harbaugh was in the NFL, he had the San Francisco 49ers. He took him to the
Super Bowl.
He's smart enough to realize, this Colin Kaepernick guy.
Took some no-name named Colin Kaepernick. Yeah, right.
He can do some stuff, right?
Right.
Is he going to do that for us, though? Because we are also devoid of offense. Is there a diamond in the rough somewhere with the Panthers that Harbaugh could say, oh, yeah.
I'll say this much, man. As far as the 49ers go, like Harbaugh is going to get a lot of credit for turning around, which he should. But they also made an outside the box hire at general manager, which was John Lynch. And I think we need to follow suit, man. I'm not saying, go. Well, here's what I'm saying. An outside the box hire wouldn't be the worst thing to do with this franchise right now. You just got, again, I'm going to say this 70 more times. Make football guys in there, man.
Matt Rhule was a football guy.
A college football guy.
Yeah, that was our only knock on that hire when it happened.
That's it. College shit.
Okay. So
college shit.
He built college programs, but that's not.
That ain't grown. These ain't grown ass men in the NFL. Yeah.
Man, I don't know.
Hey man, at least we get to watch some real football next week, man.
I will say this. I want to see San Francisco, Baltimore in the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
And boy, that's
a game.
Be a good one.
That'll be a really good one.
If Lamar Jackson doesn't win the MVP, it's rigged.
It's rigged. There's nobody else who should win that award.
If he wins the Super Bowl, although if he wins the MVP, that might be the curse. Mm-hmm. It's been a long time since the MVP winner won the Super Bowl. Right. But if he wins the Super Bowl, boy, the haters are they're not gonna know what to do.
Right.
Right. That'll be interesting.
I mean, look, man. As long as the Cowboys get beat, man, I'm cool.
I thought the same thing. Possible diamond in the rough, Smith Marset.
Yeah, I agree. Dude, I agree.
He's a baller.
He's a baller, man. I agree.
Keep him. But
keep him. Right.
They'll practice squad.
Practice squad. Yep. They'll re-sign Laviska Shenault to a 3-year deal, but cut that dude. Yeah.
And then don't run any plays for sure.
Right.
Hey, just run downfield, man.
Just $9.99 seam route.
Yes, Mahomes didn't win MVP Super Bowl last season. He broke the curse. Tepper nominates himself for coach, scheduled to interview himself next week. No, his wife's going to interview him next week.
Because that's a football person right there.
She knows. She's at the offensive line practices.
Yeah. Gets out of her voice.
Let me hear a report that she's interviewing coaches.
I'm done with them if that happens. Yeah. I'm so done, man. Like, come on, man. You cannot run your football team like a bank.
And it sucks because, I'm like, man, maybe I should switch my fandom. But I can't go to San Francisco because everyone's on that bandwagon now.
Hey, man, just be stuck in this fucked up marriage until
I've been 30 years I've been in this shit.
Right.
We got no kids.
I mean, we old and beat up, man. We ain't got nowhere to go now. We ain't. Just stay in this toxic ass relationship, man. We're here, buddy. Carolina Panthers. It's so awful, man.
1990. It's been 30 years since we got awarded the team.
But this
is this the worst?
It is. It is. It's not the worst record, but it's the worst year.
It's the worst. Yeah.
It is. It is.
I wholeheartedly agree.
It is because it just even when we were 1-15 and 2-14, Cam came after the 2-14 season. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
1-15.
Well, we knew. Okay, we're gonna
get number one pick.
Yeah. Chicago almost had a fight. Did they end up winning today? Because they were winning.
I don't know.
They would have ended with one game under 500.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they pulled that out today.
Which is absurd.
That's crazy.
They don't even give a damn because they know.
They already know. Well, what a great position to be in, right?
Like they're so happy they're getting the number.
We are about to set up a Bears dynasty.
Yeah. Okay, they did lose the Green Bay, but still, they were like,
oh man, whatever.
We just playing. They just playing loser free, just having a good old time.
Who cares?
They know they're gonna get the first pick next season.
Pathetic, man. This is so pathetic.
Yeah, this is a great. We are not. It's not local anymore. We're the laughing stock nationally. Yes, that's the worst thing that Tepper has done for the Panthers.
The brand,
especially with the little incident.
Yep.
week.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, that put the cherry on top of the cake
the
there.
Panthers were bad. No one cares. But now,
yeah,
the spotlight's on. Oh, you threw a drink and your team trash.
Right.
And you didn't draft CJ Stroud.
Right.
Oh my God.
This is like Charlotte Bobcats level of bad right now.
Yeah, this is
it's so bad.
This is bad. This is just bad. Like Brandon said, it's
such a joke,
we're
man.
The new Aints, and like I said before, Cleveland. Now I know how the Cleveland Browns feel because it's gonna be a while.
7 years, dude. It's been 7 years. Thank y'all. Oh, that's
on to the other team.
Answers.
Let me bring up the Charlotte Hornets here. The Charlotte Hornets,
the other depressing team here in Charlotte.
Now they at least have an excuse,
right? And to me, a very valid one, which is polarizing to some people. I mean,
injuries, they exist.
They matter, and I'm sorry, they matter.
My thing is, the Hornets have been bitten by the injury bug for really the last 3 seasons, right? And to me, that indicates there's some other kind of issue there.
Right.
All right. Our guys can't stay healthy. And a lot of people will say, well, your roster should be able to survive injuries. That's first of all, that's bullshit.
That's crap. That's a pile of crap.
I don't agree with
that. And let me interrupt you real quick, man. I had somebody use the Memphis Grizzlies example of how Ja Morant went out last season and the Grizzlies were able to have success with him last season. And my response to that was, yeah, because they had a guy named Tyus Jones who could hold down the fort, who's not as good as Ja Morant, obviously, but he could hold down the fort, and the roster was deeper. Not so much this year because the Grizzlies has absolutely sucked and been one of the worst teams in the NBA without Ja Morant. Injuries matter, especially when you don't have a deep team. But for the Hornets, it almost doesn't even matter how deep we are because it's 3 or 4 guys out every night, man.
Update.
None.
Is LaMelo Ball still in the NBA? Like
under construction fans. Let me tell y'all something. Kaz and myself, I know doing a YouTube show doesn't look like there's any research or work to be done. We look at this stuff. I promise y'all. Every day I'm looking for a LaMelo Ball update, a Mark Williams update. I'm talking to people on Twitter, talking to people on Facebook. Nothing. When I say nothing, no updates on these guys, man.
I think part of that is teams seem to keep medical info very, very close to the chest
but can we get
scouting reasons.
Mm-hmm.
If a team is not expecting LaMelo Ball to play, dog, like did his foot fall off?
He didn't break his foot.
Yeah, like I have never seen. People talk about Steph Curry's ankle injuries, but if you go back and look at the history of his ankle injuries, he never missed an extended amount of time
like this.
Right. And I gotta think that the injuries to Mark and LaMelo are worse
than what they were presented as.
They gotta be. They have to be.
Yep.
You don't miss.
That meant much.
You don't miss like 2 months,
right?
Because of an ankle
sprain.
That wasn't even really. It didn't even look that bad.
Right.
So, and I think Mark Williams, we know his issues are related to back issues, which
could go either way.
Like that's a career ender, literally. It could be. So,
and they just paid LaMelo Ball a bunch of money, so I'm sure. I know they want him to play. I know holding him out and all this other stuff is not their plans. You best believe they want him to play basketball.
Oh, absolutely, and I just don't. It's weird because if LaMelo Ball was, let's say all the other injuries existed, but if LaMelo was back, the Hornets are not just an 8-win team. They're better than that with him there, despite the fact that Terry Rozier has been playing out of his mind lately. Although chose not to show up at the Chicago game Friday for some reason.
I'll give him grace.
I'll give it, because
he's been carrying the damn team for 2 weeks. So
the Kemba Walker syndrome.
Right.
By the way, I have a interesting
A tidbit about that.
Take on that.
Gotcha.
But the fact that he's been playing so well, it still doesn't matter because there's not enough chemistry. It takes more than just having the talent out there.
Right.
I think Steve Clifford has alluded to this. These guys, he's got to have these different rotations.
It's a different lineup every night.
Right. I mean,
and when people say one guy goes out and then when he goes out, then the other guy comes in and vice versa.
I hate when people say it. Next man up.
It's so lazy.
Yeah.
But with the Hornets, somebody comes back, and then when he comes back, then somebody else goes out.
Yep.
It's impossible to keep a regular rotation like that.
There's a silver lining in all this.
You got to tell me what that is.
First of all, the emergence of Nick Smith.
Yeah, no doubt.
Nick Smith Jr. has played very, very well in his extended playing time.
There was somebody on this show on draft night that said Nick Smith Jr. could be the steal of the draft. I don't know who this guy was, but somebody on this show said, Kaiser, I think Nick Smith Jr. is going to be the steal of the draft.
It couldn't have been us.
We don't. Two guys. We're just two guys with a YouTube show. We don't know that.
Nick Smith Jr. has looked good. Cody Martin has looked really good.
Got to get that shot back a little bit. He's a little rusty on that end.
But he is clear his impact.
He's still making an impact. Still making an impact.
And Terry Rozier playing well could bode very well for us in the
trade market.
That he's very valuable.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Okay, so
I knew you were gonna say that.
I'm not gonna give you the complete stat breakdown, but I did look this up.
Mm-hmm.
Terry Rozier's 5 seasons as a Hornet versus Kemba Walker's 8 seasons.
Okay.
Who do you think averages more points?
My brain is telling me Kemba Walker, but I got a little surprised. I'm thinking Terry is probably
Terry Rozier.
Yeah.
More points, more assists, more
average.
Rebounds. Average, yeah. Not much.
Okay.
But Terry Rozier is averaging a little over 21 points per game. Kemba averaged right at 20 and a half per game. Now, granted,
there's some outliers here, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Kemba, remember, as a rookie, he didn't start. He wasn't a full-time starter.
That's what I'm thinking of. So, and I think the outlier on the other side is Kemba had that real big season when he averaged like 26, 25, 26, whatever it was,
but
right?
If you take out those outliers, essentially,
Terry,
been kind of the same player.
The same, right.
Which, when we lost Kemba, we got Terry. I wish he was still in the Hornets group. Y'all know, some of y'all know who I'm talking about. He said that we'd be lucky to get like 4 points, 8 points a game out of Terry.
Right. You'd be lucky to get 12 points a game out of him, man. Yeah. He's going to shoot like 35%.
I mean, Terry has matched Kemba Walker's
when I tell you that dude has disappeared, brother.
Yes.
Hornets group people, y'all know who we talking about, but go ahead, man.
So everyone's talking about trades. Anyone else afraid that we get a trade and Nick Smith Jr. gets done? I don't think you can trade Nick Smith.
You can't. Hell no.
I think
I don't know who asked that question, but hell no.
I think
hell no.
Develop that guy.
No, you don't trade Nick Smith Jr. Man.
Especially when you got James Bouknight sitting
there. That was my next statement.
We want Terry.
You got to listen. Listen. But man, I have never been. Look, I don't. The Hornets leave you. They leave you with more question marks than any team I root for. I have no doubt in my mind James Bouknight won't be on this team trade deadline. I have no doubt about it. None.
I mean, he's not. First of all, it's clear that so now if he were to come back, even because of all the injuries, he'd have to leapfrog Nick Smith Jr., Bryce McGowan, and Cody Martin.
Right. And that ain't happening.
That's not happening.
That ain't happening. He ain't leapfrogging 3 of those people. Nah.
I mean, he lucky Tail Maladone is at home.
So, he wouldn't get off the bench.
Right, yeah. So yeah. I think all of that could be silver. Oh, also, yeah, Mitch doesn't get we don't give people credit for Brandon Miller. We're talking about Brandon Miller just appeared.
No.
And
because our fans who booed Brandon Miller, no. Come on. We don't
told us Scoop was the guy.
Right.
And Mitch.
No. Jordan had another gift on his way out to us. Yeah.
That was Jordan. So I'm just saying though, let's say next season, you have to have a healthy LaMelo Ball. You must.
Yeah.
You got LaMelo Ball. Let's say Miles Bridges comes back, because I think he will.
Mm-hmm.
LaMelo, Miles. Let's just say Mark Williams is healthy. And then you got Brandon Miller and Nick Smith Jr. That's a pretty good core.
Not a bad five, man.
Right? With Cody Martin and PJ Washington on your bench.
Not a bad five. And
did y'all see the Gordon Hayward interview?
I did.
On Paul George's podcast. That man wants to come back to Charlotte.
He does. He said he loved playing here about 5 times.
Yep. He loves playing here.
Yep.
Because I think if you can get him back.
Well. I mean, if somebody paid me $30 million, I love Charlotte too.
But
I'll say this though, and I've been saying this for a while, man. You know, if you bring Gordon back, that's fine. But I still think this team needs an infusion of vets, man. And when I say an infusion, maybe
I think we need
another
veteran backup point guard.
Yeah.
Instead of looking for the next young guy.
Right.
You need,
especially a point guard.
You need a guy.
I wish there was a Tony Parker type deal out there.
The problem is that point guards are kind of divas in today's NBA.
No doubt.
And you get guys who aren't willing to be that backup point guard.
You mean like Dennis Smith Jr., who wanted a bigger role, but still hadn't got it yet.
Rajon Rondo, or those guys. Those are the kind of guys
you want.
Right. But they feel like they could still be starters. And
you know who I'm thinking about in that ilk? I'm thinking about Dennis Schrader. And let me explain why. Dennis Schrader to me is the type of free agent signing I want the Hornets to kind of go after this summer. He's the type of guy.
Right.
Veteran, he can play defense, good size. Like, I'd be super excited to have somebody like that. But to your point, look at how long it took for the last 2 seasons. Look how long it took for Dennis Schrader to get signed by somebody. Right, yeah. I'm talking about the last days of free agency. Like, okay, we'll get Dennis Schrader. To your point, he's thinking, man, I'm worth $10, $15 million.
Yeah.
I should be starting somewhere. But you notice guys like that always get signed 2 or 3 days left of free agency.
When that happens, I gotta think the market didn't work out for them because they felt like
John Wall is still not on the team.
Yeah, no, boy, John Wall backing up LaMelo Ball, boy, I got a lot of people like, man, how come the Hornets didn't go after John Wall?
Why is John Wall not on the team? That's the better question. Right, that's the better question to ask.
John Wall still feels like probably that he's a $20 million player.
And that's not happening.
It's not going to ever happen.
And on top of that, point guard is the most competitive position in the NBA by far. So
because you have the ball in your hands almost every play.
But not just that. There's so many good young point guards in the NBA.
The rule changes in the way that the NBA has allowed skilled players to shine in the last 20 years or so.
No doubt.
Makes it so where guys like John Wall are just kind of like almost a dime a dozen. You could find a lot of skilled backups.
I will say this, though. The NBA is a copycat league in this aspect because I think what most teams will tell you is that, you know, we like youth and we got to go young and, you know, we got to get the young talent to build towards the future. But at the same time, man, all the teams who are playing for championships, they got veterans as their backup point guards.
Yeah, absolutely.
So at what point do you say, man, let's start trying to...
And the problem is that if you get a good young player as a backup point guard, you're in trouble because I think about James Harden.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, James Harden was the
backup guard. I'll say guard because he's just kind of whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's like James Harden was a backup, and he knew he was better than a backup, so he left OKC,
which he was.
Clearly he was. And when they went to the NBA Finals, and he was like, "If y'all not gonna start me, then I'm out. Peace out."
Right.
And now
totally justified, by the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you run into those issues if you got like, you know, a young that's another reason I'm not a big fan of Nick Smith Jr. playing the backup point.
Same.
But, you know, one, he's not a point, but second, what if he ends up being really good?
Right.
Okay, well now you're in a dilemma.
Now you're in a big dilemma.
You got to start him, and you're not going to start him over LaMelo Ball.
Right. Exactly.
We have the same issue with Devontae Graham.
Right.
You know,
who's not on the team anymore. Which could we not use him right now? You understand what I'm saying? But on the flip side of that, I look at the Los Angeles Clippers, who have Russell Westbrook as their backup point guard. What? Come on, man! Like,
I'm gonna give him some credit here. I've never been a big Russell Westbrook fan, but
he bought in.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were like, look, for this to work,
you got to buy in.
4 Hall of Famers.
Everybody, and there's one ball.
Yep. You got to come off the bench, and he did.
Right.
And they're like what, like 15-2 in that period.
Yep.
Since.
Yep.
I mean, like. That's what happens. That has to happen. You got it. Which is one of the reasons why they should have kept Isaiah Thomas.
Yep.
He had bought in. He wanted to be the backup point guard. He wanted to mentor LaMelo Ball, and he could score a little bit.
Right.
He averaged 9 points a game as a backup for the Charlotte Hornets. You tell me you wouldn't take 9 points every night,
which is still a head scratcher because I'm sure he wasn't demanding some big contract, man. So I'm just like, why didn't that work out? Why? So what's begs the question? Why aren't point guards like Isaiah Thomas and John Wall not working out? Like, I don't get it, man. I don't understand that, man.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I'm not a GM,
right?
I'm not even gonna. I know there's always debate over Mitch Kupchak as the Charlotte Hornets GM, but I cannot question his pedigree. And he got 10 championship rings.
I still, here's a simple thing to ask. Look, man, I'm not trying to be too hard on Ish Smith, but come on, bro. Ish Smith, John Wall, Ish Smith, Isaiah Thomas, like they use somebody. Like Smith, exactly. Like I'm trying to be hard on him, but let's be real, man. Yeah, dude. Somebody has to explain that one to me, man.
Let's talk about the games.
Do we have to? Oh, okay.
Well, we
got one. We got one good one.
Sacramento game. There is something about the Sacramento Kings,
and it's always an entertaining game with them, man.
It always comes down to whether or not De'Aaron Fox can shoot free throws, and he can.
Right.
And we win.
Right.
If you went to the I love going to other teams' game thread, and it was so funny because they were like, "Oh, finally, a relaxing." Wire to wire Kings win.
Yeah, right. I love it.
And then, of course, that didn't happen. The Hornets come back like in the last 5 minutes of the game, being down double digits and win. And it's like if you could do that against a team like Sacramento, there's no question they're a better team than the Charlotte Hornets.
Right.
Like, why are you gonna come out and lay an egg against Chicago?
I'm gonna give them some grace on Chicago, and I know what people are gonna say. Stop giving this team excuses. I'm gonna give them some grace on Chicago. Here's why: it's the last game of the road trip. They have been on the road. How long now? It feels like forever.
That's true. Yeah.
And Chris Galloway, if you are still on here, let me talk to you directly, buddy. Chris made a post in the Hornets group. Miss me with the excuses. They played bad. And my response to that was, 2 things can be true. They played like shit, yes. And yes, the injuries do matter. Both can be true at the same time. I get where Chris is coming from because I looked at that game in particular. I said, man, there's a lot of one-on-one shots. The ball movement sucked. A lot of bad shots being taken, man. A lot of lapses on defense. But,
Kobe White, all-star.
Kobe looks like every time he plays us, he's Kobe Bryant when he plays us. But you know what the famous Larry Bird once said, Kaza? He said, when your body ain't working, your brain ain't working. Meaning when you're tired, you have those lapses. And that's what I saw with this Hornets team when they played the Bulls. It looked like a tired, mentally and physical team against the Bulls.
Also, Nick Richards is a solid.
He's not a starter, man.
Yeah, solid backup.
Not a starter.
Like he's great there.
He can't do nothing with Nick Vucevic, bro.
Boy, he would get.
He ain't have none for him. Right.
Yeah. He had 12 rebounds, but how come Nick Smith always looks surprised when he get past the ball? Like, oh, shit.
But who he play with? I would be too. What do you mean? Miles didn't shoot over 2 people? Like,
hey, Miles was balling though. Miles had a great game.
I want to talk about Miles Bridges real quick. Miles Bridges is putting up some really good numbers over the last 5 games. But I actually have a criticism. I actually do have a Miles Bridges criticism I like to share because what was not included in those numbers are turnovers. And there are way too many times that are critical junctures in the game when Miles Bridges says, I'm the hero and I got to play hero ball in this spot. And it's always a bad shot, a turnover, or something that negatively affects the Hornets' momentum. And he got to cut that down, man.
That's the LaMelo Ball effect. Those are situations in which LaMelo would run the offense would run.
I agree.
Him, and we've seen when LaMelo is on the court, Miles Bridges becomes
everybody does. Everybody's job is easier, right?
Yeah, and I got to think when LaMelo comes back, he won't have to do that as much because one, Terry was not going to be the hero Friday night,
and not to mention, if you notice with Chicago, he was getting some real special attention. Like they were trapping and double teaming him the whole night, man. So
remember when I said we should go after Vucevic, and fans told me I was
crazy. Yeah,
I was.
Yeah.
Remember when I said Lauri Markkanen a few years? They said I was stupid.
Well, according to some fans, we still gonna get.
Remember, I said Sabonis. I was like, man, we should get Sabonis.
You were very high on the Sabonis train.
Like, nah, go get Miles Turner. All three of them motherfuckers be busting our asses.
Sure
every
do.
Time we play.
Well, Sabonis did have like 15 turnovers.
That's true. Yeah, we got him.
We got him for once.
Yeah.
For once.
But he still had like 26 points and 13 rebounds. Like,
we have not talked about the Denver game, so let's get that out the way. Because
the reason I don't want to talk about the Denver game is because
there's one reason I do want to talk about the Denver game. Go ahead.
It's almost a foregone conclusion when we play them because they're going to win the championship again.
You think so? You think the Clippers ain't got nothing for them this year?
The Clippers have the talent, but you've seen Denver play.
I know. I think where we're going with this is a chemistry issue.
Yeah, Western Conference Finals.
Yeah,
I'd put money on Denver.
I got you.
It's uncanny how good they are without a plethora of superstar talent. But they got Nikola Jokic,
right?
And of course,
Jamal Murray too. Give Jamal Murray some props, man.
I mean, they're not like loaded.
No doubt.
Clippers,
right? I agree.
But yeah, it feels like they're like the '96 Bulls out there. Like they're just unstoppable.
Okay, maybe it's hard to gauge against the Hornets, but you know what's scary about the Nuggets? They turn it on. When I say it's something about when they come out and they say, "All right, we're gonna turn on and win this game," they do it, and they didn't. We're gonna get to us in a minute, but they did it against the Warriors. I think Thursday night or Friday night too. They came back from like 20 something down and beat the most ridiculous game winning.
Steph Curry is still standing there right now, chewing on his mouth, just standing there. That was the most ridiculous game winner I had seen in a while.
But back to the Hornets real quickly, and here's the one reason I wanted to talk about the Nuggets game. You ready for this, Kaza?
Third quarter,
40-17. The game was tied at halftime, Kaza. No, time out. We outscored the Nuggets by 5 in the fourth quarter, and we
still lost.
That's it. There's nothing else to talk about. The thing about this,
that's coaching.
But hold on. It happened the last time we played the Nuggets.
Well, I mean, the Nuggets are very well.
But what is it about the third quarter?
But see that but the thing is that's when you make your adjustments, right?
True, I guess I kind of said my point already. They turn it on when they need to.
What is Steve Clifford telling these guys at the half? Is he because I get the feeling he's telling them, you guys should be happy that you're tied with the world champs at the half. Keep doing what you're doing.
That makes sense.
Whereas Denver's coach is like,
hey.
The Hornets?
Like, what we doing,
seriously?
y'all? Like, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
Like, let's turn it on, man.
And then Denver's like, oh, yeah, I forgot.
Sorry.
They're the Hornets.
Right.
Just give the ball to Jokic. All right.
Who's shooting 90% the last 4 or 5 games. But yeah.
Instead, our coach should be saying, okay, it's great we're tied, but we know.
But you know what's coming.
Right.
You know what's coming. They're going to make that defensive intensity is going to pick up.
Yeah.
Your ball movement needs to be better. They lost. They no need to look it up.
I'm pretty sure they lost.
Yeah, they lost. Ain't no need to look it up. And they got their coach cussing Dennis Allen out because they scored a late touchdown. They lost.
Yeah, so they were salty. 48 to
yeah. Prillard, stop, man.
Yeah, stop. Yeah. That's all we got to say about that.
Shout out to Pilar, man.
Yeah, Pilar, you know, he's under construction family. So,
but we got to get on by this Falcons though.
We'll trade y'all Desmond Ritter.
No, the hell we ain't. I don't want nothing the Falcons got.
Yeah, we stopped moving the ball in the second half, and that's because the defensive intensity picks up. So guys start turning into black holes.
You know what would help with that?
LaMelo Ball.
Exactly.
What is up with those ankles? First of all, I've said this before. I'm tired of lows. I'm tired of low top shoes.
Get rid of them, man. Get rid of them.
Basketball, I thought there is a store, and I cannot remember the name of it. It's a shop over on South Boulevard, and they sell like, you know, trendy urban clothes. A lot of them like used, but very expensive stuff. So you can go there. You can find like vintage Jordans and all kinds of stuff.
Right.
But they had a set of what were they? I can't remember what they were. There was some Nike basketball shoe that were lows, and they looked incredible.
Right.
But I thought,
I ain't playing ball in them.
Yeah, who would want to hoop in these shoes?
These little young boys who think they can't get hurt.
And I'm watching the Hornets play, and I'm watching another guy turn PJ Washington,
who the latest Hornet out with an injury. Yeah,
and I'm like, who would want to hoop in those shoes? Those aren't hooping shoes.
They look good.
Yeah, it's like. I don't want to be the old man yelling at the cloud here, but clearly there's got to be some correlation there.
There has to be, man.
And the number of ankle injuries and this gradual move to low top shoes. I don't remember guys getting this many ankle injuries when we had Reebok pumps.
Nah,
right. I just don't.
Right.
So,
and it seems especially prevalent with the Hornets for some reason, man.
All right, let's.
What we got?
At one point, did the Hornets seriously consider moving on from Melo? If you start, you don't. He waits his contract runs out and trade him his last season.
And, you know, I know that's a basketball question, but you got to think about that on the PR side.
You cannot.
That's PR suicide.
Cannot.
That is public relations suicide if you do that.
You cannot, especially. Okay, all right. I'm going to give you a perfect example. Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey wasn't available.
He was hurt a lot.
He had played, 5 straight seasons? And he ends up playing 2 games in the last 2, and he was getting paid as much as LaMelo Ball is getting paid.
Right.
Fans was like, man, we paid way too much for running backs and blah, blah, blah. We traded him to San Francisco. And
look at us now.
And now what is everyone saying about the Panthers?
Yep.
And they can't believe they traded the best player in the NFL.
Yep.
So I'd almost rather just
ride it out.
Ride it out.
And try to come up with a solution somehow. We are obviously not doctors or shoe designers. I don't have the answer to that question, but you got to find towards a solution some way, somehow.
No, here's what you do. You find you force LaMelo's hand.
Mm-hmm.
You find a point guard in the draft, free agency, whatever.
Well, the opportunity was there the last draft. You see what happened with that?
Well, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But you gotta at some point you gotta force his hand. So like Ty says, if you don't move on from Gordon, you don't move on from Melo. But see, now we don't have to worry about what happens to Gordon Hayward because we got Brandon Miller. Right. Well, the only reason we're worried about LaMelo Ball because no one can replace him.
Right.
So you get someone that can replace him. Now LaMelo Ball has to say, "Oh, well, I either got to start playing or my job is in jeopardy. My spot is in jeopardy." Right. Yeah. And if he goes somewhere else, then too bad. Now we got your replacement.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the worst. Yes. Where are the damn ankle braces? So now someone in the comments of the Hornets group did make the point that LaMelo has pins in his ankles from his previous surgery and they hurt with the braces. And to that I say, I don't care.
Yes, make an adjustment.
It doesn't matter if you're not playing, right?
Right.
And if you're so hurt that you cannot play, like physically, you're in physical pain. I'm sorry, I cannot play.
Right.
Then you are robbing the organization, right? I'll give Gordon Hayward this. At least he be trying to go out there.
Yeah.
He not diving on the loose balls.
Right.
But at least
I told you a few weeks ago he didn't look spry. He didn't look healthy. And he was still out there trying to play. And it seems like it caught up with him.
When he broke his hand?
Yeah.
and he came back a little too early, and his shot was off.
Right.
I remember thinking he probably could.
He you best believe they hear stuff, man.
Oh yeah,
you understand?
Yeah, he was because he'd already had that injury-prone tag from Boston,
right?
And his first major injury here, he breaks his hand, and people are like, "Oh,
see, I told you,
Michael Jordan." Right. So, okay. Do we really think LaMelo would be upset moving on from a franchise that isn't winning that much? No, but the paradox is that they're not winning
because he's not on the floor.
Playing. Right.
Like, he can't blame the organization for that.
Right. I mean, the Hornets, if he was playing, the Hornets would not be an 8-win team. They would be better. Even with the other injuries.
Right? And not to mention, man, they've coddled LaMelo Ball.
It would be different if we say, well, the Hornets didn't build around him. The Hornets drafted Brandon Miller because LaMelo Ball asked him to.
You best believe it. There is no coincidence that LaMelo did not show up to Scoot Henderson's workout. Right, you best believe there ain't no coincidence.
And we heard from reputable sources that was the case.
Absolutely.
Ball said, I'm not playing with Scoot Henderson.
If we would have drafted Scoot Henderson, you best believe LaMelo Ball would have been on the clock. As far as like, all right, cool.
So I don't want to hear. I've said this before. Mitch takes care of his superstars.
Yep. He has a history doing it.
He
to a fault almost.
Yeah, he put his career in jeopardy for Kobe
Bryant.
The Lakers fired Mitch because he gave Kobe Bryant a bunch
of
money.
Too much.
And it hamstrung the team, and Kobe wasn't
Kobe anymore.
No more, right? But Mitch did that because he's like, look, Kobe got me these.
Right.
Whatever you need, bro. And I think he's doing that with him. He's like, I'm going to hitch my wagon. This is my last hurrah. I'm going to hitch it to this guy, LaMelo Ball. Yep. Whatever you want, LaMelo, you got it.
Yep.
And so far, I mean, I still think the Hornets supported Miles Bridges through his legal issues
because of LaMelo Ball.
They know that's
his boy.
That's his boy, right? So
that makes sense.
We're gonna hang on LaMelo. Oh, you don't want Scoot? We gave you Brandon. So if the Hornets aren't winning with the players they have that they built around LaMelo, it's because LaMelo's not playing. If he was playing, they'd be winning.
And that. And LaMelo's the focal point, obviously, man. But I mean, we're in a situation where Mark's not playing. Terry's missed games. Gordon has missed games. PJ is out now. It's this revolving door of injuries, and too many nights we're relying on second, third year guys, G League guys. I have nothing against Nate Mensah, but he shouldn't be on the floor. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing against what's your boy? Bryce. I got nothing against him. But theoretically, he shouldn't be on the floor.
15 minutes max.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, so the Hornets wouldn't be a championship contender, let's say, if LaMelo Ball was playing. Fine, but that's how you build a team. You cannot build chemistry without people
playing together.
How many games has LaMelo and Miles played together?
5?
Yeah,
maybe.
They're like the dynamic duo, right?
Right.
Even they haven't played together that much this season. So,
yeah, man.
LaMelo needs to get healthy, bro.
Gordon, you too, man, and Mark, you too. Somehow.
Let's talk about Mark real quick before we go. Back injury.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So
Larry Johnson was never the same after his.
Larry Johnson, Tracy McGrady.
Larry Bird retired because of his.
Retired early because of back injuries. We know the story of Michael Porter Jr.
Yep.
I mean,
who reminds the Hornets that they didn't draft him every time we play him, but that's another story.
But then he also reminds the Hornets why we didn't draft him when he don't play him.
Exactly.
He's a good NBA player.
Yeah, he ain't a superstar. Like, yeah.
So back injuries for big men, boy, that's
yeah.
That doesn't bode well. And our biggest deficiency has always been, I tell you this much. Cat's gonna hate me for this. We missing Mason Plumlee. I'm just gonna put that out there.
But because for me, it's not a hot take, man. That's to me, that's not a crazy comment in my opinion.
I mean,
would you not? I would take Mason Plumlee in a heartbeat right now.
Maybe not right now because
I tell you before you say what he's about to say. I guarantee you one thing. I guarantee you the offense will flow a lot better if he was playing.
That's true.
I guarantee you that.
I want Nick Richards to learn that it is okay sometimes to pass from underneath the basket. It's okay.
You don't have to try to.
You don't gotta try
dunk on everybody
because he be getting blocked on. When we play Wimbiana,
oh my God,
and the San Antonio Spurs,
Lord,
you gonna see Nick Williams or Nick Richards get his shit tossed.
About 3.2, but and pretty much gave us the middle finger and said, "Well, we're gonna go ahead and flex you guys in January."
Fair, no one wants to see the two worst teams in the NBA play.
No doubt.
But
cousin, it was never about that. That's my thing. It was about Wemby, LaMelo Ball. That's all it was about.
They thought it was going to be Wemby versus Scoot.
Yeah.
They were certain that Scoot was going with the number 2 pick, which was the Hornets.
Yeah.
And we saw what Brandon Miller did against Wemby in Summer League. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I saw it. Yeah. People trying to act like
however,
I saw it.
However, ESPN said it ain't good enough. We gotta.
Plus, it's weird. The Wemby hype has kind of died down because the Spurs are trash.
That's why. That's why. Wemby still look. I saw what Wemby did against Giannis, but I also saw what Giannis did to him.
I'll make a bold prediction. Wemby Giannis is going to be an all-star, all-rookie, and all-NBA.
This season?
And all defensive.
This season.
This
And he deserves it.
Yes.
And that's not a hot take.
No, it is not.
It's not a hot take.
He's going to be like the first player in the history to make all those teams.
Yeah, in a rookie year.
And he's going to get some Defensive Player of the Year votes. He won't win it.
Yeah.
Because only because he's a rookie.
Right.
But let's be honest. I mean,
dude.
Nearly 4 blocks and 14 rebounds a game.
Hey, man. He is as advertised. Yeah, he really is. That's as simple as I can put it, man. He's as advertised.
Also, Plumlee would be. He would do it too.
He would do it.
Try to cross paths and everything. Y'all know how Plumlee used to do. Dwight Howard, would you bring back
No, absolutely not. No.
But
no.
You know what's funny?
No.
The Dwight Howard that won a championship with the Lakers would have been incredible as a Charlotte Hornet.
Yeah.
Instead of the version we got who was trying to
be half throwback year. Yeah.
Hot sauce
right.
Out there. Like, what are you doing, man?
Hey man, I anytime somebody brings up Dwight Howard in the Hornets, I always tell this story, and I wish I had something to prove this. I wish I do, but I don't. Who is the first time they asked the player that the Hornets are going to trade this offseason? I was the only person that said Dwight Howard is going to be the first player they trade. I said book it. And damn it, he was the first person they traded. And everyone was like, how could you get rid of Dwight Howard? He was balling. Empty stats.
Although I still feel like the Hornets should have made the playoff. Really, it was Nick Batum that doomed us that year.
I agree.
If Nick Batum had played a little bit better,
I agree. I agree.
He just kind of like
he didn't. Yeah, he just. I don't know what was up with that dude.
He got the elbow injury. He was like, I'm done.
Yep.
We're done too. Any shout outs?
Do I have any shout outs, man? Oh, I do have one shout out. Shout out to the college football playoff committee. Yeah, your 2 teams got beat, bastards. Goodbye, Texas. Goodbye, Alabama. Florida State could have went and did that. That's my only shout out.
In the national championship game?
Yeah, tomorrow, man. Michigan, Washington.
I ain't watch that shit. I watched the Hornets get destroyed by Chicago again.
I'll have both my TVs on.
You got a prediction for that? We didn't do
predictions. Let's do that real quick, man.
So the Hornets coming up.
I looked at it, man. I got 1 and 2. I think we got 3 games between now and Sunday.
I think we beat Chicago. We lose to Sacramento.
Both home games. Yeah, both home. They are salty.
In the San Antonio game, which is Friday, I don't know. I think San Antonio wins. We're too hurt, and Wimbiana is gonna have a big game.
We ain't got nothing for that dude. Man.
I don't see how we make that up.
We got nothing for
unless,
that dude. Man.
I do predict there will be one highlight where someone dunks on Wemby.
It's gonna be Brandon Miller too, man. Miles.
I think Brandon Miller gonna come out like
Yeah.
He
gonna be ready to play,
he
man.
He got a thing in the trunk, right? It's gonna be there, right? He might pull it out. Y'all know what I'm talking about. He might, you know what I'm saying? So
wouldn't that be awesome? We get a big game from Brandon Miller, man.
Yeah,
That'd be cool, man.
The ESPN acting like it didn't happen.
Right. Well, the game ain't on anymore, so
yeah. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
It's gonna be on local TV.
Yeah.
So we got Eric Collins. Thank God.
Yeah. Yeah, I got 1 and 2 next week.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 1 and 2. I think we get Chicago, then we lose the rematch to Sacramento, and then we lose to San Antonio.
I got 1 and 2, but I'm gonna kind of cower out. I don't know who we beat. I'm just gonna say 1 and 2.
I'd like to beat Sacramento again.
That would be cool. That'd be nice. I like to beat Chicago because I'm kind of tired of Chicago kicking our ass all season, man.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to beat them out of the 3.
That's true. I want to beat all 3 of these teams. I really, really want to beat.
No doubt. I mean, if we keep it in the buck, I wish we could really beat all 3 of these teams.
But they won't.
Yeah.
Unless the mellow ball.
And I think you agree with me. I want to beat all 3 of these teams for specific reasons.
Really
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I want the Hornets to win every game,
right.
but I want to really beat them for just particular reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, guys, Malik Monk's not coming back. Okay?
Stop it. Seriously.
Yeah. Every time he has a good game.
Oh, my God. There's somebody in the Hornets. Grace, I told you, man. He beat 26 points last night.
He always play like trash against us, right?
And then 6 points against us.
Yeah.
That's Malik Monk. That's who he's always been. He's the same guy, y'all.
And let me make this clear. I'm happy that Malik Monk has found a home.
I'm glad he's found a fit.
They really like him there.
Yep.
Fans like him everywhere.
He's found a coach that he relates to. More power to him, man.
The reason I shit on Malik Monk is because of the way he talks about the Charlotte Hornets organization, even though
they stuck their neck out for that dude.
Boy, they coddled him.
They stuck their neck out for him. Time and time again, man.
I mean, Michael Jordan has been associated with Charlotte basketball for 2 decades, and I'd never seen him have a relationship with any player the way that he had with Malik Monk. Sitting beside him on the bench, they joking,
all of that,
smacking him on the back of the head, all kinds of shit.
Right.
He ain't done that with any other. He never even did that with LaMelo Ball.
Right.
This man did some Schedule 1 drug. We don't know what it is. We just know it was one of the bad ones.
And it could have ruined his career. And the Hornets could have let it play out like that if they wanted to.
According to the CBA, could have just said, nope, we're done. Zoop, get out of here.
Yep.
But nope, they didn't. They kept it a secret, actually. They didn't tell them no.
To the suspension. Games.
Not regular playing minutes back. He catches COVID, like everyone did.
Right.
Comes back. You know, and then it's over. I don't understand why he make. Man, I was going crazy in Charlotte. Why? Because you couldn't.
Right, because you couldn't. You know what? Let me shut up before I say something. For YouTube's like, all right, don't flag us. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Boy.
That's why when people are like, Kaiser, why are you talking about Malik Monk? That's why. There's a lot of criticisms you can make about the Charlotte Hornets organization, particularly in the draft instead of Malik Monk.
And even then, you're speaking in hindsight, but whatever.
Okay, this is a good question, actually.
What we got?
We're going to go back to Panthers. Who are the offensive and defensive MVPs of the season?
Offense, who cares? But defense, man, I'm taking. Well, you got to go Derrick Brown. I think you have to say Derrick Brown. I wanted to say Frankie Louvu, but looking at what Derrick Brown did, man.
Derrick Brown.
Yeah, his impact
became greater, especially as the season went on.
Yeah,
it was clear that he was the anchor of that defense.
Yeah,
which is odd considering we just knew Brian Burns was going to have. Boy, his contract here for Brian Burns.
Yeah,
he really didn't do.
I mean, he was just regular old. Yeah, I don't know. Great impact, man. Offensive MVP.
Adam Thielen.
I was gonna say
we don't
Adam
score
Thielen.
a damn touchdown without Adam Thielen.
Pretty much
out there. So wherever Adam Thielen goes, whether he stays with us or he goes next year, thank you for your service.
He'd be crazy to stay here next year.
There's no way if I'm Adam Thielen.
He'd be absolutely crazy to stay here next year.
His value shot up.
Yeah, exactly.
Watch the Texans be like, hey, man.
It would make sense. Yeah. I wouldn't blame him. Right. We got any more good ones before we get out of here?
No, just if you didn't catch a stray from Cat Williams, consider yourself lucky. Because everybody, I'm surprised he didn't say under construction.
Right. Kaz and Jamal stole my idea. I want to share a thought about that. So that's obviously the talk of the internet right now, right? And I think I'm alone in this sentiment. There was not a lot of shock value to me in that interview.
You're not alone, because a lot of that was stuff that people who knew, right?
Exactly. That's the first thing, though. But here's another angle I'm coming from. Kaza, it's needless to say, me and you are huge hip-hop fans. That shit has been happening in hip-hop for how long? That competitive shit talking.
It's funny, though, like, if you follow comedy, especially black comedy,
right,
but comedy in general, there's a big. It's very competitive. A lot of
more than people think it is. Exactly.
A lot of serious beef. I don't know if you guys remember the DL Hughley Monique situation that happened. It was funny about that is like we're very cool with Tone X, who is one of Monique's writers.
Yep.
And I met DL Hughley a few years ago. He did a show at the Comedy Zone, and I bought backstage passes and hung out with him for a bit. And I'm like, damn, they're all
connected.
Cool. Yeah, they're all cool people.
Right.
So I'm not taking sides. Just whoever's funny. But for them, that's like real.
Yeah.
That's like real beef.
Right.
Like
right.
And so that wasn't surprising to hear Cat Williams say that kind of stuff. So
and with the whole joke stealing thing, is it like I draw the parallel to hip hop again? Remember RZA was on this whole campaign about, man, people biting much. Like it's the same energy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So for me, the shock value wasn't like, oh my God, I can't believe Cat Williams said that. As highly entertaining as it was, I didn't get the shock value everybody else got, man.
I just thought I will say the shock value was not the revelations that he was making, but that he was making them
so publicly,
that
right?
He was just coming out and just starting beef,
yeah,
right, with everybody.
Right.
And then there were some people like the Ludacris thing. I was like, Cat Williams was in a Ludacris song,
right?
He's in pimping all over the world and talk. Ludacris' wife is not light skinned and weird face. She's a very gorgeous woman. She's one of the biggest women's rights activists for third world countries, like in the world,
right?
Like I'm like, why are you talking about? I thought that stuff was kind of strange.
But like you said before we got on, man, sometimes you put a little sauce on the story. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, yeah.
Cat Williams not running a sub 4.4. I do not. You trying to say he's faster than Palm Deion Sanders? Yeah. And why are people mad at Shannon Sharp? That's Uncle. Yo, he's just
that's so dumb. That's so dumb.
I mean, what was he supposed to do?
Why? Come on, man.
I mean, what it is now Club Shay Shay is it made it, right?
It made it.
Right?
He's there now.
Now the haters.
Yeah.
They just don't hate your success.
Right.
So a lot of people were mad. A lot of people I have beef with Shannon Sharp because they felt like he was too condescending towards other black professional athletes, yet he was subservient to a degree.
And accommodating to Cat Williams.
Or not Cat Williams, but Skip when he was on
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
Because, Skip would say some
wild stuff.
Right. Like, okay, Shannon, what you going to do? And Shannon would maintain his professional integrity.
Until he didn't, though.
Right.
Until he got tired of it. Right.
He just couldn't take it no more.
Right.
And then he left the show. Because, and I respect him for this because I was saying, and I tell this to my kids, the kids I coach on the robotics team, y'all not gonna mess up my money.
Right.
Ain't nobody gonna you not gonna
nobody. Yeah, right.
Sharp felt the same way. Y'all not gonna Skip. You're not gonna mess up my money.
Look, man, that train is out of control. Ain't nobody messing up Shannon money right now anyway. So that it's out of here now.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So I mean, dope Shannon Sharp. It's really a funny interview to me.
Right. Right.
Especially as it went on, the more they drank.
And not to mention, man, when you have a platform, you have a guest, man, like your guest is on there to kind of tell their story, however they see fit. You can't muzzle that, man.
Especially if Cat Williams went on there to address things that other comedians had said about him.
Right.
So it's like with hip hop.
Right.
Like the what's that? The big podcast.
Drink Champs.
Not Drink Champs.
Gilly and them kid.
Not Gilly.
Yeah, man. What's I don't know.
Charlamagne's shit.
Oh, Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Breakfast Club. When they have a rapper on there,
you know what's coming.
Right.
Yeah.
There's always gonna be some beef about some stuff some other rapper said.
Right.
So same thing here with comedians.
Yeah.
What's the chance that Cam's the team's president this offseason?
Probably about the same chance as me winning the Powerball tomorrow.
0.
Yeah.
Cam is, first of all, actually though, if Tepper's smart, he would do it. You know why? Because now you have a big PR buffer.
Yeah.
No one's talking about David Tepper anymore.
All the attention goes back on Cam Newton.
By the way, speaking of YouTube shows, Cam Newton's
he's out here too, man.
Cam Newton's YouTube channel is blowing up now.
Yeah, yep.
And
this icon of entertainer piece is coming together. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I would consider making Cam like a figurehead,
like a Muggsy Bogues to the Charlotte Hornets,
you
like an ambassador.
You don't make any real decisions.
Right.
You might have some input, but we'll just give you a president label and
which I'm not opposed to that at all.
No, not at all. Come out, you bang them, keep it. Imagine this: Cam Newton's team president, first home game of the season. First person out of the tunnels, Cam Newton.
Oh my God,
in a suit and tie.
Man, please! That stadium would explode. You hear me?
People wouldn't know how to.
They wouldn't even know how to act, bro. Well, the only problem with that is it'd be like 5,000 people.
Yes.
You got to advertise it first. You know what I mean?
Exactly. No, y'all put in the room, man.
Oh, by the way, Panthers, I heard this on the Hornets telecast. Panthers, hey, man, put Dale Curry out there to bang the damn drum. I'm down for that.
Yeah.
For real, man.
He even said like one of your family members 3 times. Steph Curry has banged the key pound.
You heard the sarcasm in Dale's voice, like, yeah, I ain't done it. Yeah, Panthers, man. Hey, man, it's time for Dale to bang the drum, man.
What are y'all doing? Someone to change the music in the stadium. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Fire everybody.
Hey, no, this is Tepper Sports and Entertainment. Okay.
One thing before we go. I found out today that the Carolina Panthers have the 3rd most expensive game experience in the NFL. Why?
How just?
I went to the Green Bay game. I passed by a parking lot that was $200 to park.
If I was David Tepper, I wouldn't pay $200.
Bro. If I was Bill Gates, I wouldn't pay $200 to park for a Panthers game.
Would?
And there were cars there too. Anyway, man, I'm hungry.
You know, yeah, I'm.
Charlotte Sports. Thank you for continuing this journey of misery with us, man. We all, as always,
fun ride this season.
We appreciate y'all, man.
We're not excited about next season, but at the same time, I can't wait to talk about how terrible that ride is going to be.
And next week. I don't like making bold predictions, but I don't think this is that bold. I'm pretty sure we'll be talking about Scott Fitterer not having a job next week, so we have that to look forward to.
We might do a breaking news episode in the middle of the week.
Never know.
Because it's going to be
something's coming. These teams will always give you something to talk about if not anything else. So,
absolutely.
Yep, I'm going to get me a buffalo chicken wrap. I'm hungry, man.
Sounds like a plan. Y'all take care of each other. We'll see y'all later.
Next week, y'all.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Peace, y'all.